Hi there and welcome to another iCanWiki lesson. Today's lesson concerns internal and external links. So we're going to go ahead and get started here at the ICANN article. As you can see, within the first few paragraphs describing ICANN, there are a number of concepts, terms, and acronyms that may not be readily apparent to newcomers. And these are represented or shown in blue, as we can see here. Most of these are what we call internal links, which means that for each blue link, there is a corresponding article that goes into depth as to what this means. So this means, for instance, we're reading along and we get to this sentence here. It coordinates the internet's DNS. Well, to a beginner, DNS may not be readily apparent. So what a beginner can do is actually click on this and see that there's a full article on the domain name system, which is great. They can continue to sort of toggle between these two or read the entire article on domain name system and really feel like they have a great idea as to what ICANN covers. So how do editors actually make an internal link and make it show up as a blue link? Well, let's take a look. So we scroll down here and we see that there are a number of key terms that have brackets, opening and closing brackets on either side of the term. That tells icanwiki.com that there's an article based on this term. And this is the markup we use in order to indicate that that's the case. So what happens when we have a concept that we're creating an article and we want to include a concept or an idea or movement that we think should be highlighted or accessible for deeper research? Let's say we want to include some information about encryption in ICANN's article. Of course, encryption isn't under ICANN's purview, but we want to include it. We see here that there isn't an article for encryption. So what does that look like when we actually add something like that to ICANN's article? Let's take a look here. So we're going to just add a line here at the bottom that says, ICANN is not concerned with encryption. Very simple statement. We're going to hit the preview button to see what it looks like. And as you can see here, it shows up as a red link, or what we call an invitation link. And an invitation is just that. An invitation link is just that. It is inviting readers, it is inviting editors to create an article on encryption. As you can see, as I hover over it, it says page does not exist. So that's inviting our readers to create content on encryption. That's a great way to inspire people to add content because they see that there's a need for it. So since this isn't going to add anything special to the ICANN article, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And we'll just go ahead and hit the read button and it'll return to its normal state. So what happens when we want to add an external link? And what does an external link look like? So let's take a look here. We are going to actually add something that defines a web browser. So as you can see here, I did have a link set up for a web browser, but we're going to just start from scratch and add a simple external link for the concept or term of web browser. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here and look up define web browser. Okay, see Wikipedia tops up first, and then we have the Merriam-Webster definition of a browser. And we can see here that the second definition is close to what we're looking for. So go ahead and copy this. We go back to our article on the internet, and we go back to our term that we want to define. So what we'll do is we'll create an external link which is different from the internal link in that it uses a single opening and a single closing bracket. And before the term that we want to see shown on the page, we will add the URL that we just found. We'll create a space, and then we're going to go ahead and hit preview and see what that looks like. Great. So since we don't have an internal article or an internal link for web browser, we see here that we've created an external link which provides the context that we need. So to review, in order to create or to link back to an article found within ICANN-Wiki's site, we use two double brackets, opening and closing on either side of the term. And then to create an external link, we go ahead and use single brackets around a URL and the term that we're wanting to describe, which is a web browser. And punctuation still stands, and that's how we close it out. And that's a brief rundown of our internal and external links.